McLaren, Ferrari or Mercedes? Who's the best choice for the Austrian Grand Prix? Hi guys, I'm Jay, and this is my F1 fantasy team for the Austrian Grand Prix. Okay guys, so this is my first team idea. I've actually got 3 different team ideas which I'm going to go through, and then I'll tell you which one I decided to go with. So for the first team idea, I've replaced Max Verstappen with Lando Norris. I've wanted him back in my team for a while, but one of the main reasons I want him back in my team is driver of the day, which is an extra 10 points. And if we go over here to the statistics, he currently has 5 driver of the day, so that's an extra 50 points that I'm missing out on. That does mean that I've replaced McLaren with Mercedes. However, Mercedes are on an upward trajectory. It's a sprint weekend, so I think they'll make the most of that. They got 46 in Monaco, 74 in Canada, 66 in Spain. But also, they are currently joint second for top 10 finishes and top of the fastest laps with 3. So there's a couple of extra points there if they're able to do that again. The final change is Yuki Tsunoda for Lance Stroll. Now, I've wanted Lance back in my team for a while, because if you put him with my 2 Hasses, Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg, they are the top 3 for overtakes. So I've been sticking with the Hasses because of this reason, for the overtakes, but I've not been able to bring Lance in until now. So that beefs up my overtake team to support the front runners. Keeping Ferrari in this team. I know Sainz and Leclerc had their mishaps in Spain, but again, other than Canada, they're a top scorer, and they're actually, along Red Bull, the best team in the constructors in terms of F1 fantasy. They're second in points scored, second with average fantasy points scored. They're top in valuation changes. They're the most selected team. They're the best for value for money. Second with podiums, second top 10 finishes, joint second fastest laps, and second in the fastest pit stops. So although Ferrari have fallen back a little bit, they're still probably the second strongest constructor to have, with McLaren obviously pushing them. Other than that, the only besides K-Mag and Nico, keeping Logan Sargent because I kind of have to, unless I take a penalty. So Logan just fills in the slot, basically. But the main point here is Lando, driver of the day, if he can do it again. Points in the sprint, points in the Grand Prix, guaranteed top 10 qualifying in both, surely. So there's that. Guaranteed podium, surely. Guaranteed points. He's the only driver that he's the only driver to have not scored points this season. So he'll be my turbo driver. But also bringing in the Mercedes means that going into Britain, I can then maybe swap a few things around again, try and bring Max back in if I can, and then go from there. Just one other thing with this team is it does mean I would be taking a 10-point penalty for an extra transfer, since I only have 2 transfers available. But we'll get to that with each team. So that's my first team idea. Let me show you my second. Okay, so this is the second team idea, but this would actually incur an extra penalty, so 20 points penalty. But again, it would bring back Lando into the team for the same reasons as I said in Team 1. But rather than have Ferrari as a constructor and Stroll as driver, it would be Charles Leclerc as the driver and Aston Martin as the constructor. So I would be losing Carlos Sainz and gaining Fernando Alonso, theoretically. But again, this would give me Lance Stroll, and it does mean I would keep, in my opinion, the better of the two current Ferrari drivers. So again, we look at statistics, we can see that Leclerc is beating Carlos on the points scored, the average fantasy points scored, his top evaluation changes. He's in the top 5 driver selection, top of value for money, and has one more podium than Carlos. Plus, he's in the top 10 for top 10 finishes, whereas Carlos isn't. So that's my thinking there on that team, just short and quick. But like I say, this would actually incur, excuse me, 20 points penalty because it's it'd be 4 transfers: Lando, Leclerc, Mercedes, and Aston Martin. So let me show you my final team idea. Okay, so this is my final team idea, and this one wouldn't actually incur a penalty because it's just 2 straight transfers. George Russell in for Max Verstappen. Now, it was a choice between George and Lewis. Technically, Lewis would probably be the better choice because he is just edging out George. But I think George's form is good, and you can see he's like really pushing. Bearing in mind that in Spain he was given the hard tyres, whereas Lewis was given the softs. Otherwise, I think George would have got the podium. But it's I think you can go either way. You can go George or you can go Lewis. In this instance, I've gone for George. I'd probably go for Lewis for the British Grand Prix because of how good he is at the British Grand Prix. But yeah, for this instance, I've gone with George. And the other change, again, Yuki Tsunoda for Lance Stroll. And again, this is for the overtakes with K-Mag and Hulkenberg, as I said, in Team 1, the top 3 for overtakes. What it does mean is no Lando Norris. And so I'd have to keep McLaren, which is fine because I would I keep Oscar Piastri as well. But I don't get that extra driver of the day bonus if Lando is driver of the day again. So it's a tear up between Lando or McLaren is what it really comes down to, I think. And again, we've still got Ferrari and Logan Sargent. So what it really comes down to then, for me, is do I go with Team 1 and take that penalty? Or do I go with Team 2 and potentially lose out on a potential driver of the day? Okay, so I have gone for Team 1. The main reason is Lando. If he's on form, I think he'll bring me a lot of points. If he gets driver of the day, that cancels out the 10-point penalty that I'm going to have to take for this team. But it also means moving forward, I've got a strong player in my team. Also, it came down to Team 1 and Team 3. The problem with Team 3 is George would be my turbo driver, and theoretically, he's not going to score as much points as Lando on paper, even as my turbo driver. So that's the main reason that I've gone with Team 1, was Lando. It does also mean I've got my overtakes team, although as much as I've been backing up Haas this season, I am keeping an eye because they had a bit of a terrible time recently. They had a bad time in Spain. K-Mag got that jump start. There was that 9-second pit stop, which was crazy. Nico didn't have a good time. I think he got a time penalty, if I remember correctly. I was a bit distracted when I was watching the race. But on paper, if everyone is on form, statistically, I think we'll be okay. That's the theory. So again, the overtakes, top 10 finishes, both Mercs are in there, Lando as well. So that's my thinking. I have decided to gamble, take that 10-point penalty in order to build my team moving forward. The other thing as well is it gives me 4.3 million to play with for the British Grand Prix. But let me know what you think. What team do you think was best out of these three, and which team would you have chosen? Let me know in the comments. So let's see how I did in Spain. Now, I haven't actually looked at this yet, so this will be my first time going through it. Obviously, I had Max as my turbo driver, so 76 points. Obviously, winning the Grand Prix just about, qualifying in second. So, typical Max performance, hence why he was in the team and my turbo driver. Logan did get a point for an overtake, so it's a point. That's something. The two Hasses got 10 points between them. Again, this was mainly due to their overtakes. So 5 for K-Mag and 4 for Nico. Plus, Nico did get 2 positions gained. Yuki, I feel really bad for Yuki because I really thought the RBs were going to perform a lot better than they did. But despite losing 2 places, he got 6 overtakes. So a couple of points there. And then McLaren and Ferrari brought me in 110 points. So we've obviously got, obviously Lando got the podium. Piastri finished P7. So, that was the position gained. There was the overtakes. So, and both drivers getting in Q3 as well. So positives. And then with Ferrari, again, pretty much 5 overtakes plus, again, qualified top 10. Finished Q3 in qualifying position 11. Sorry, I completely confused myself then. Both drivers in Q3, so points for their qualifying positions and 18 points for race position. So yeah, so 201 points, which means that I did a lot better than I have been doing, because Canada only got 128, 40 in Monaco, which was a disaster, but it does mean that it's my highest scoring Grand Prix in 4 races. Still not as good as the start of the season, or just after the start of the season, but it's positive. So, in terms of the league standings, I believe I've gone up a little bit. So, yeah. Not much, but I've gone up about 3,000 places, or 2,000 places, I should say. So up to 30,224, and keeping within 800 points, well, exactly 800 points between me and the current championship leader, Leapers 1. So still some work to do, but I'm happy to be in the top 50,000 right now, personally. I'd like to crack the top 25,000 again. I think I've come close, or I may have cracked it at some point this season. But a top 25,000 would be good for me, I think. At least that's how I feel right now. Obviously, I'd love to win, but again, it's an arrow going up. That's good. That's what we want. Happy days. And then in terms of the Papaya-Stealth Open, and as usual, I'll put the pin in the video so that you can join if you want to. But if I remember correctly, I won the Spanish Grand Prix. The first time this season I've won my own league. So I beat Verstappen by 20 points, and I beat the Arabian Racing Official by 30. So happy days. Happy days. I'm very happy there. But I am still like 200 to 400 points off in the overall standings. But that's fine. This is for fun. And like I say, if you want to join, feel free to. So yeah, that is the league standings. So I've had a quick look at the F1 top stories or latest stories. Nothing really to mention. Sainz and Leclerc obviously are at odds with what happened in Spain. Lando feels he should have won. But at the time of this recording, it's Monday afternoon. There's nothing that I can see regarding any penalties or anything like that going into Austria. So nothing really to show you on this side of things for this video. Also guys, I may have set 3 different thumbnails for this video due to the new YouTube test and compare. Let me know which thumbnail you clicked on in the comments below. Thank you. So that's it for this video guys. Moving forward, just to say that I am trying to get these videos out as early as I can. I usually release these videos on a Thursday, but given that we've got 3 Grand Prix in a row, and even just in general, Thursday is kind of a little bit too close to the Grand Prix. So rather than trying to keep to a schedule, I'm just going to do them as quickly as I can. So long short of it is, if you want to be notified when the video is available, then do click the subscribe button and click the notification bell. But otherwise, just come in and check on the channel, and at some point there will be my next F1 fantasy team video. On that front, I am in the process of trying to move as well over the next 2 months, over the next month or so. So my personal schedule's a little kind of messed up and hectic at the moment. Again, that's why I say about, I'll get these videos out as soon as I can. Other than that, F1 fantasy aside, I did finish my F1 Manager 23 career with Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris, aka Lando. And the video for that came out last week, I think. So if you want to check out and find out what happened at the end of the career, we did win. We won both the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. But I did the video differently this time round. Rather than me just playing and then editing it down, I wanted to do like a progress video. So I'd done a progress over the season type video, so a season review, if you will, because moving forward I'd like to try and do more things like that in terms of when it comes to like the sports games, because that way I don't feel as pressured to get videos out every week. But also I just like that kind of style. I like the whole over this amount of time, here's where we started, here's where we finished. There's a few mistakes, I'm not gonna lie, but otherwise, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best videos I've done, and I'm very happy with it. So please do check it out. I'm also working on some other things as well for the channel in different areas. And again, at the time of this recording, please do be on the lookout for a YouTube short this coming Saturday, unless I release it earlier or later. It won't be published to the subscribers, and there's a reason for that, but I did recently finish Euro 2024 with England on FC24, and I put together a little funny like highlights video. I don't want to give too much away for that, so yeah, keep a lookout for that on the channel. Again, it's just something a little different, and I know it's not F1, but again, F1 is the main focus of this channel, but I do also enjoy football, MMA, pro wrestling, a bit of Muay Thai, so I like to delve into them sometimes as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know again in the comments what you think about the 3 team ideas I came up with, which one you would have preferred, or which one you would have gone for. Who's in your team for this coming weekend? Are you looking forward to this coming weekend? Hope you are. And yeah, enjoy the Grand Prix and the sprint. It should be very interesting. And do you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. This wasn't planned, but I'll do like a top 3 a podium prediction. I'm going to go Max, as much as I want Lando, but I'm going to go Max, Lando, and do you know what? Let's go with George Russell. We'll go with a Merc for P3. So yeah, again, thank you for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I will talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.